Today we're going to walk through Viewpoint 1, Team Project Management. It's a project collaboration tool that allows your internal organization, your PMs, your supers, people in accounting if needed, along with your external contractors, subcontractors, architects, engineers, etc., to all collaborate on one cloud-based PM tool. We're going to be also showing it integrated to Viewpoint's Spectrum ERP, so we'll be able to take a look a little bit at how we can do things like change orders, more in-depth job costing, and much more. So I'm going to sign in to Team. And again, this is a project. This is a cloud-based application that everyone can get to via, a web browser, and or we also have an app-based. I'll show that to you later on in the presentation to get an idea what that app looks like and how your supers or your PMs can use it in the field. I'm going to log in to a job right now. This would be a job list that would be specific to an individual in your organization. As you'll notice here, we're going to have some metrics being fed right back to your PMs so they can get a real quick snapshot of how their project is progressing. Again, this is getting synchronized automatically to the web with how their project is collaborating or how their project is progressing. On the right-hand side, you're going to see things that are coming due, overdue, and lots of other ways you can sort this, that they need to take care of on this project. On the top side, you're going to see things like, my submittals, my RFIs, my issues, my daily logs. And again, any of these are categorized for overdue, coming due, on track. So an example would be this 3 RFIs that are overdue. I just click on that section and it takes me right into the RFI log with those 3 that are overdue. So I can again take a look here of what they're about, where they are in ball in court, who's in charge of them, where's it sitting. And so we can also take a look at, dates over when it was overdue. But if I want to take a look at any of these, I can always click right into it and take a look at more information about, what's going on, responses coming back, how it started, where it sits, any documentation that was added to it, any attachments that were added to it. Nice, easy way to get a good overview look at it. I'm going to come back into give you a flavor along the top here. So, if I needed to look at a submittal log or create a new submittal log, very simple, I click on submittals. Same thing with RFIs, issues, daily logs. We have full document control, drawing control, and eventually we're going to get into our Spectrum PM where we're going to be doing these kind of activities, and I'll show you this in a little bit. But an idea here is, let's take a look at an RFI log, and we're going to clear all here. So we'll get a full list of RFIs. So again, this will be the full list of RFIs that I have. If I ever needed to create a new one, I just come up here and every page is the same with the same kind of layout, where if I create a new one, we give it a type, right? And these are user definable based on how you want to set up your projects. This will auto number if you'd like to. And then this is a project team that we would have set up in our contacts. Contacts can be shared with Spectrum. So set them up once and share them across both teams. So if I have one, I would just say who this goes to, give it a subject, throw in a question, and we'll show this, add attachments if you want. We have show more also, where We can link it to a spec section, a drawing reference. We're seeing it's automatically where it came from. We can give it a priority. We can give it a due by. And again, these can be defaulted with standard how long you want those RFIs to be sitting there before you need attention to it. And again, we can do anything if there's a cost impact or a schedule impact or a drawing impact. These internal notes are obviously just for you to keep track of additional things. Once you've created that, you just hit send, and off it would go to the appropriate people. And therefore, it'd flow to your RFI log of, when it's supposed to come due. On the RFIs, the nice thing about that is if you sent it outside, they can reply to it. Just go in their email, reply, put their answer in, and that reply will come right back into the RFI in the replied section, or they're going to have a link that they can actually come into that actual RFI within Team. Issues, same kind of ideas where, we'll create a new one here where you can give it a status, give it a type, again, user defined how you want to deal with this. Auto number, give it a type, give it a description, same kind of thing where priority, who's responsible for it. And we can also log every other information about this, just kind of like we did in the RFI, and you create that, and therefore it would flow as something that you're following up on. Daily log, and we'll show you a little bit more on the daily log on the app, because most likely that's where it's going to be entered. But this would show you over the last month, you'd be able to come into any previously completed daily log and get an idea of what happened during that day. So we'll show you this portion on the app. Document directory is going to be how you want to do your storage, right? And so think of getting rid of your network's storage filing cabinets, if you're using SharePoint, whatever. So you create this directory and you decide, what you want that to look like, and then you're going to be able to upload documentation. Again, it doesn't matter what kind of document type. You can load it up there. The other thing you can do is that you are able to share a folder here if you want other people on your project team, internal or external, to actually have access to documentation within a folder. So again, we have versioning control on that also. The drawing, and again, I'll show you later on how you can draw, bring this kind of thing up in the mobile app. But, again, versioning control, people that'll be automatically notified if there's a new version to a drawing. But to give you an idea, we can just bring that up here. It loads, and you'll have the ability to come up here and do some basic markups on top of it. So you will have colors and stamps and text boxes and point things out if you want to. You can do free form, all kinds of things you can do on top of that drawing to do some markups that you would like to have. So we also work with Bluebeam if you need to have a little more capability with that markup tool. That will come back in here, but we give you a bunch for free that it comes along with it. If your PMs, and again, we have two different licensing on Team. One would be for more of the field kind of personnel who have submittals and RFIs and issues daily logs and documents and drawings. The other one, the other type of a licensing would allow them to have more accounting-based roles in addition to all of these over here. So the nice thing about this is called deep linking, where it's going to take us directly to Spectrum. And so they can take action on looking at invoices, in this case, that they need to have attention to. And so as this brings up, case in point, If I had, here's all my invoices that I need to deal with. You're going to see full document imaging control here with the viewer. That will show you the actual scanned document. Your PMs will be able to look at what that was for. Again, a visual of what that's for. We can pop that out into and make that into a newer window to make it large if you want to. And if everything is good, you're going to click on that and you're going to approve it and it's off your PM's plate and it's routed on to the next person in the approval process as you see fit. We'll go back over here to team. So same thing, we have change request. We can take a look at our change request log. We can look at our change order log. We can create and update subcontracts. We have the ability to do POs or material requisitions. If you like them, they can do projected costs or quantity completes if you are a unit-based contractor. And we can also do some pre-billing if you would like to do that, where it would actually come in here and they would be able to mark up what it is that they think that they can get away with on the schedule values on the AIA style billing. So if I'd say I wanted to bill $40,000 this period, I would be able to get a chance to do that, and it would see that that's at 65.7%. If I think I'm 70% done, I get to override that and I'll actually do things like that. So they'd be able to do some pre-billing. Obviously, we have some controls there for accounting to actually review what the PM said, and they can update that later. One other thing I want to show you before we get to the mobile app would be, there's obviously here we have a big picture snapshot of how that job is progressing. But if you wanted them to get more information, we have the full job analysis. So it'll bring up the more information that's being fed so you can see more in depth of a job status, cash flows, how your change orders are progressing, how's your billing so far on this project, and we can drill down into that. But more importantly, costs and hours, where I can drill down into this more in depth. And let's just say, this is a lot of information here. We can modify these as you see fit. But let's say I want to resort the same information where I'm looking at just at the labor side or the material side. And if there's something that caught my eye on the material side, I have a chance to take a look at the different phases on that project. Go, you know what, I need more information about what's going on in my feeders and switch gears at this point. Drill down into the AP invoices that came up to it. All of these AP invoices rolled into that cost. I really want to go back to the source document and see what it was for. And by the way, I want to pull up the image of that AP invoice. So we can do the same thing with payroll or contracts, whatever. But it's nice to be able to get down to the heart of the matter and have your PM really have in-depth look at how his project is progressing and where it's going. We're going to go to the mobile app next. We're now looking at the mobile app. I have this on a tablet just to give myself a little bit more real estate. You can do it on the phone if you'd like to, but most people will put it on a tablet just to give you a little more real estate. And so I'm in a project right now, and if you could look along the bottom, you have the ability to do the logs and the document control, but you're also seeing that I've got things on the right-hand side that I need to take care of. But if I go into the logs, I can click on that. And so I have this ability to, here's my R5s and submittals and daily logs. If I go into the R5s, if I'm in the field, very easy to come through and say who am I going, who am I sending this to? So carbon copy, give it a type, same kind of things that are flowing through, give it a subject, give it a question. Obviously we can add photos on the fly. I'll show you that more, what that looks like when I'm doing a daily log, but very simple, clean layout. with on the mobile app for them to go and do the same thing that I showed you on the web-based. So we'll come out of here. Same kind of thing. We have our submittals. In this case, we don't have any available, but we have also our daily logs that we would want to keep track of. So here's a daily log, and you're going to see I have one that's not started today, that's due today, right? I can go back in time and look at ones that were yesterday or Monday or wherever, or back in time. But if I have a daily log I need to take care of, I'm going to click into there, and we can come in here in the work summary. The nice thing that we have there is I can actually speak into my tablet if I want to, where I can go, this is what we completed today. So your PM or your super as they're walking the job site doesn't have to type. He can just talk right into it. Same kind of thing if I'm going through the weather. The weather's snapshot automatically that's coming from the job site address, but you have the ability with the plus and the weather observations to add additional things that you saw on that site. Same thing, we come through the work. And what did we do? How many workers were there? How many hours? What a description of work that we did today. Any activities that we did on the job sites. Were there any accidents, or were there deliveries, or there visitors? Same thing, that we can log that as we're going through our daily log. Any equipment, any additional notes. So the big thing there is that if there was a safety observation, I could come into that. All of these screens have that same thing on the bottom where it says add photo. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to take a photo just so you have an idea, and I'm going to snapshot that. I'm going to use that photo, and now that photo is going to be synchronized back office, but also available here so I can take a look at it. You can see that IMG is down on the bottom. So it's a nice way to quickly add notes that you saw, and also do things with documenting what you see while you're walking around there and taking photos. Team doesn't care how much storage you use, so snap away. We're not charging you extra for more documentation that's being stored on the team platform. The other thing we have is on the bottom right-hand side, you have your docs. And so if I wanted to, I can go into my full document control. And again, if I want to, this is same linking that I had when I showed you before on the web piece. If I wanted to go into proposals, there they would be, right? So I can grab that while I'm on the job site if there's any kind of documentation that I need to have. Same kind of thing if I'm in the docs and I want to see drawings, I have that ability here to look at that full drawing log. And if I wanted to bring one up in the field, very simple to bring that same thing up in the field. So that's in a nutshell. Very easy, very simple tool to get your PMs and your supers and your field staff trained on. Pretty rapid adoption, pretty rapid implementation of the project. Thank you for your time today.